Welcome to this video on sharing and version control in SharePoint. Now that you know how syncing works and how to manage file paths, let's look at how to securely share your files and how to keep track of changes with version control. When you work with files in OneDrive or SharePoint, you don't need to send attachments back and forth by email. Instead, you share access to the single cloud copy. This way, everyone is always working on the same version. There are two main ways to share files and folders: named email access and link sharing. To begin sharing a document or folder, in your browser or in File Explorer, right-click on the file and select Share. However, if you want to share an entire folder and all its subfolders, right-click the parent folder instead. This will access the sharing menu, where you can choose who you want to be able to access the file. If you choose to share with named people, you type in their email address, and they'll be invited directly. This is the most secure method, because only those people can access the file. Using the pencil box at the end, you can choose to share. Full edit rights. Review, so a user can suggest changes. Or to view only. You can also add a message to send alongside a link to the file. And at the bottom left of this window, you can click the profile icons to manage access and see who has already been shared the item. However, if you choose to share with a link, you can generate a link that anyone can use. To generate a link, leave the email field blank and select the Settings cog on the Copy Link button. Here you can change who the link will work for. The Anyone with the Link option will not be available within areas such as UOC staff. However, it will be available from areas like a personal OneDrive or Teams-based SharePoint sites. If you are unsure where you should save things in order to share, please watch the first video of this series, as it will explain storage locations and what they are intended for. You can click the link on screen now to view the video. Always think carefully before using Anyone with this link option. Warn any recipients not to forward a link or put it in a place that's publicly accessible. If you want control over who can see the file, share to a named email address instead. This is safer, as if the recipient forwards an email or link to the document, the new recipient still won't be able to access the file. If someone else has shared a file or folder with you, you don't need to dig through your email to find the link again. In your browser, open OneDrive and look for the Shared With Me section in the left-hand menu. This area shows you a list of all the files and folders that others have shared directly with your account. From here, you can open them, work on them, or save a shortcut into your own OneDrive so they're easier to find later. Now let's look at version control. Every file in OneDrive and SharePoint automatically keeps a version history. That means you can always go back and see older copies of the file, even if it has been edited many times. To check version history, right-click the file and choose Version History. This will show you a list of all the previous versions, who edited them, and when. From here, you can open an older version to review it, restore an older version to make it the current one, or keep the current version and just use the old one for reference. Version history is a lifesaver when mistakes happen. For example, if a file gets overwritten or if you need to roll back to an earlier draft. You can also make use of version history when inside the document. For instance, if I open a document, I can click the name in the menu ribbon. Assuming the file is stored in a OneDrive or SharePoint location, you will see a version history option. Sometimes it is easier to work from here when reviewing old versions, because you can quickly switch between them in the version history sidebar. So remember, share to an email address for secure, named access. Use links carefully and check permissions if you do. And rely on version history to keep your work safe rather than duplicating files. Follow along for more guides.